Welcome back. It is 7:41 right now. In a divorce, who gets the fur baby? Colorado is considering a proposal to treat dogs more like children during a divorce, and right now they're treated like property. So judges do not worry about the best interest of the pet. So our legal expert, Whitney Traylor, is with us this morning to talk about this proposed change. Good morning.
Good morning. We're doing some hard-hitting stuff today.
Well, you know, pets are serious business with people.
Man, I lost my penny a few years ago, and I was like, if I was going through a dissolution proceeding, yes, I would be fighting for my dog for sure.
People think of them as children sometimes,
Totally,
right? Okay. So if this bill does go through, what will the court be looking at when it comes to granting, sole or shared pet custody?
Well, and it's relevant. And you said on the lead-in, right now they treat the pets as property, and so it's just the division of property. But now they would take into consideration the health, safety, comfort, and well-being of the pet, which seems probably a little unusual to some people, but we're pet lovers, particularly in this state. And so the court would look at a number of things when deciding how to allocate this responsibility. So who acquired the pet, the amount of time each person spent with the pet, expenses incurred for the animal's care, caregiving responsibilities like walking, grooming, that kind of thing, emotional attachment, and then as a negative, if either party had committed abuse or cruelty or violence towards the animal, they would take that in.
Okay, what would this look like in a practical matter? I mean, are we talking like pet support here?
Yeah, well, I don't know. The bill didn't actually address payments, like pet support payments, which is interesting. But they would actually, just like with a child, they would allocate who gets the primary custody, how much time each person gets with it. And yeah, actually they do address the expenses for toys, grooming, vet care and things like that. Because the dogs, they can get expensive, all the pets, not just dogs, even though I'm a dog lover.
It's true. Yeah. Oh, veterinary care can get really, really expensive.
Yes.
Could parties come up with their own arrangement here, or if this passes, can that not happen anymore?
Yeah, they can. The parties can still come up with their own agreement and submit that as part of the dissolution proceedings, and then the judge would enter that into an order, which would also be relevant if one of the parties was deemed to be in contempt. So there could be a contempt proceeding like, hey, you're not either paying for these expenses, you're not letting me have my time, just like they do with children. And you really have to think about it. I mean, this is kind of lighthearted and things like that, but when you consider the high charged and emotional nature of these dissolution proceedings, people are just not really in their most rational mind as you have these very emotionally charged proceedings.
Are there other states that look at it like this?
So there's only been a few states that actually have laws related to the pet dissolution, the pet sharing. Alaska, Illinois, California, they all had a few. But I saw a study that this was a few years back, and it showed that 2/3 of American families have pets. 88%, I think, are dogs. Only 5% were cats, which was a little surprising.
Yeah.
Over 60 billion annually is spent on pets. So this is actually quite a robust industry, if you will. And I think most pet owners, especially here in Colorado, would say, yeah, they're part of the family.
It seems unusual, but are there any other unusual laws related to pets in Colorado?
Well, there are actually, and of course there's animal cruelty type things, but those aren't unusual. But there are laws related to leaving your pet in a trust. So yeah, so if you set up your estate planning and you can set up a trust where you allocate how money is going to be allocated even after your death, as opposed to a will. And so within the trust, you can say, yes, this is what shall happen with my pet and their offspring. So, you think about if you have a turtle, for example, and turtles can live for a long time.
Yeah.
So this could go years and years into the future. And the trustee, whoever's managing that money, has to make sure the health, welfare, maintenance of the pet is actually taken care of.
I've heard that with like exotic birds because they can live like 90 years or something like that. It's like you got to figure out what you're going to do with them.
Right, that's exactly right. And that's actually been, I used to teach a case with my students where this eccentric millionaire had left all his money to his pets. And there was a dispute of whether the kid should get it. And the question was he competent during that time? So competency would come in as well. But yeah, you can definitely set up a trust for your pets, everybody.
Keep an eye on this one and let us know what happens. I'm curious.
If it passes, it's supposed to go into effect in August of 2026. And there's only one sponsor in the House. So I don't know how much traction it has, but we'll know by May if it passes.
Okay. That's an interesting one for sure. Whitney, thank you.
Sure.
We'll be right back.